All right, guys, the main event of this episode, main event of the Survivor Series pay-per-view itself, Team Cena versus Team Authority in a traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Best match of the night, in my opinion, and something that had a lot of interesting things that happened throughout it. We had a heel turn in the Big Show. We had Dolph Ziggler going all the way instead of John Cena, which, for all the people, myself included, at times, we all kind of once in a while go on that big same old tirade, but for everybody who says, they don't push the younger guys, they always, will sacrifice them for the people like John Cena. Here you go. Here's an example of the total opposite. John Cena didn't get any eliminations. He didn't knock out any members of the team in any kind of way, like Rusev or whatever, that he could have been responsible for, making him get counted out. That way he could look strong. They didn't have him accomplish a damn thing, and he gets knocked out before Dolph Ziggler by Big Show with one punch. So that was really surprising to me. Another really surprising thing, although this is negative, is how poorly Ryback came out of this. Man, like, I wrote an article about this up on Bleacher Report, about a couple other missed opportunities, but one of the things is, did they really need to have Big Show get that first elimination and then have Ryback get eliminated on Team Cena instead of having Ryback be the first person to eliminate Mark Henry on their side? I think that
What
that
you're
was a
asking?
missed opportunity here because, I mean, why would Big Show so easily beat Mark Henry and then get to a point where he thinks that they stand no chance whatsoever, so he has to quit and sacrifice himself and the team and all that? If the plan going into it, and we're supposed to believe that this is all real, of course, was that he was already going to do that, he never would have knocked out Mark Henry. So this is just poor logic on WWE's booking. And okay, you can kind of suspend disbelief and be like, look, you're not supposed to think too much about it. But an extra 2 seconds worth of thinking would have gotten them around that problem, and it would have gotten around the idea that Ryback looked like shit. He went into this pay-per-view being the top guy that everybody wanted and everything, and he gets eliminated and doesn't put up a fight whatsoever. That was my
Cons-
big flaw with this match, but
Hey
I,
guys, you know how we're pushing Ryback? I'm just thinking, it's the big pay-per-view. This is where it's meant to pay off. Let's go with Dolph. That's
well,
Uh,
good.
maybe it's the same people that had the idea, the grand fucking amazing idea before, where they were like, look, Ryback's being really popular right now. We'll put him in a match with CM Punk for the title. Now, we can't give him the title, so we'll get him screwed out of it. Okay. But then we'll put him in like 8 big matches, and he'll lose every single one of them. Even the ones that don't matter, that aren't for a championship, that he could win with ease, like Mark Henry at WrestleMania. Let's have him lose that one too, because why not, right? They do this shit with Ryback again, then there's no chance. He's got no fucking career.
so,
So what?
so am I the only one who's actually okay with the decision to eliminate Ryback early on?
Defend it.
It makes sense that the Authority would try to take Ryback out in the very beginning if they had the opportunity to do it. You know, Ryback is supposed to be this big guy. If they eliminate him in the going, at least the early parts of it, then Team Cena should have no shot. So I'm actually going to defend it by the point that it would make sense just by that belief. Now, I was kind of upset personally because I was hoping Ryback would go on a tyrant during the match,
A tyrant.
but I'm completely a Terrence and Phillips. But I am completely fine.
He turns into the whole Canadian
Hey, buddy.
angler. I'm not your
But yeah,
Ryback guy.
I'm not 100% satisfied with it because I didn't get what I want, but I'm not gonna criticize him for that because it makes sense. At least to me, it did.
See, I would have been okay if he would have been eliminated at first, but they would have built something backstage where he got jumped or something ahead of time.
Yeah.
They
Like,
never. There was no effort to protect him.
The thing is, but here's
yeah.
the thing. Apparently, Seth Rollins' finisher, I don't know if you've heard this, but apparently it's a pretty fucking big deal if he's able to essentially eliminate Ryback, because that fucking cake didn't do it.
What?
Has Rusev ever pinned someone before Sunday?
I think he might have. I kind of remember
Yeah,
him kicking
everyone's
somebody
big
and pinning
submission.
him.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just I don't know. Just me personally, I'm fine with the decision of what they did.
Fuck you, buddy.
Ah, I ain't your pal, guy.
Well, in the Ryback situation alone, we'll break out down other different things afterward. But on the Ryback stuff, what do you think about that, Wego? Was that a good idea? Was that a bad idea?
Ryback stuff was definitely a bad idea. You needed to protect this guy. You finally fixed some of the damage, if not all of it, that you had before from turning him. Everyone was behind him. No, everyone just pretended that that little heel run never existed, and they blew it all. He should have had at least a couple of eliminations. The way he should have got eliminated should have been done in such a way to protect him. More interference, more bullshit from the authority. I don't know. It just seems like wasted opportunity after putting all that work back into him.
What do you think, Peyton?
Yep.
Can you think of any kind of justification for why they would have done this, other than just they made a mistake?
Maybe they felt like he was getting a little too hot, and they wanted to humble him a bit. I don't know.
If that's the case,
they do this all the time, man.
If that's like another one of those situations where they think that they have to take somebody down a notch before they build them back up, then they are so fucking dumb with that idea. I hate that shit. Let's see what other happened. What other stuff happened in this match? Luke Harper didn't really accomplish that much. I mean, he was just kind of somebody who kept the
Survived
wheels
the entire
going.
match.
Kane really was just sort of there. They figured out a decent way to get Rusev eliminated with the count out thing. You know, we were talking about that beforehand, that he needed to be either disqualified or counted out. It was one or the other.
You see, that was them protecting Rusev. Why can't they do that for Ryback too?
Mm-hmm. I guess that was like too much for them to think about two options out of there. They're like, Sting's coming. That's all I'm thinking about. Big Show's turn. I'm not feeling that. I don't really want to see heel Big Show right now. Not that I really want to see babyface Big Show either, because there's no feuds that I can think of other than maybe Ryback that he could be in that could possibly be interesting in. But I don't want to see these crying promos, and I'm not really into the idea of the Erick Rowan feud yet. They might be able to sell me on it in the next 2
What do you
weeks.
mean? Rowan is the upside down Sheamus.
That was a good line, but do you like the idea that Big Show turned in this match, or do you like the idea that Big Show is a heel in general, or hit or miss, that kind of a thing?
I wish he would just go and fucking just break his neck.
And die?
I'm tired of the big. I don't know about going that far, but
I mean, if you
I'm
break
so
your neck,
fucking-
it's like a death sentence, right?
exactly. I'm just so fucking tired with the Big Show at this point because they've turned him heel and face more than anyone else that I could think of in that company. So, he doesn't really build people up. If you're in a feud with a Big Show, it's like, oh wait, you're that guy who's in a feud with a Big Show. Okay, that's really it. So, to me, why the fuck is Big Show even around anymore at this point?
Maybe he's just pulling that gun out on people and forcing them to continue the contract.
I mean, I was actually about to say that. That's like the only thing I could think of. I mean, that fucking gun must be pretty big and scare people. Kind of like Biggie's package.
Wego, what do you think about the Big Show situation?
Paul Burchill's really cool. Remember that guy?
Remember,
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking of something that I gave a shit about more than Big Show turning. Apparently, that's Paul Burchill. He was a pirate once. Yep.
He also banged his sister.
I'd beg his sister.
I'd beg his sister.
We're talking about my sister.
You beat me to it, Drew.
So yeah. Don't give a shit. Made no sense. And he cries now.
Hey, I just realized something. Remember how like Jack Swagger was supposed to be on Team Cena, and he got his ass kicked, so he wouldn't be able to be there?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he there?
Yeah. Actually, I think he wrestled on the events after that Raw too. Like in between main events and shit.
Jesus Christ.
WWE logic. It would have been good though if they would have said like, okay, well, Like he can come out and replace Big Show or something. He comes back out for another match. He's like one of the stars of the night or something. Peyton, your thoughts on the Big Show turn?
Well, it's fucking stupid.
Dun 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 dun.
What the fuck was that? Like, was he getting like a funky version of Kevin Nash's theme?
Bow 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 bow. Bow 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 bow.
It's turning into Doogie Howser. That's Sanford and Son.
Do 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 do. Dun, 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 dun,
For fuck's sake,
dun,
don't
dun,
kill this segment.
Bury it.
Somehow the outro snuck into part 10.
Oh, this is a sneak preview for the awesome outro we have prepared. Winky face. Kiss.
So 2 other bigger stories that we've got going on. The Dolph Ziggler push and Sting. Give us your opinions on both of those. Wego.
I am glad that they're getting behind someone for once. That I'll be happy as long as they keep up with the momentum. This is the biggest issue with WWE. They're fine to hand you out an initial push, and they'll continue with it and do a great job. And then they'll be like, you know what? Nah, shouldn't do that. And that's what I'm worried that's going to happen with Dolph Ziggler again. I don't know why they've suddenly just decided to bestow this opportunity on him, but fantastic. I just hope it doesn't lose any momentum, because I don't know how many times you can start and stop with him. As far as Sting goes, yeah. His return or debut really didn't do anything for me. I didn't mind the music so much, but there was no lighting, no promo. It's kind of the Undertaker deal. You want a spectacle, and that wasn't a part of the package. And then when he was actually in the ring, his fucking hair was all red and shit. He needed a diet, so it just looked awkward and poofy. And then he waddled around like he shit himself and gave a shitty kick and a shitty finisher. Yeah, I don't care about Sting. He's an old man, and the only thing that might be interesting that comes out of it is the Undertaker feud in the future, because I don't want to see him versus Triple H.
So, since they clearly are building something with him and Triple H, where would you want that to happen? Because they're going to do it. I mean, it's obvious they're not going to just abandon it.
In a closet.
It's like the new alternative to the PG version of the Boiler Room Brawl.
Yeah, I like... Don't get me wrong, I'm a big Triple H fan. Back when I first got into wrestling, he was my favorite wrestler, but his day's done. And Sting's day was done even longer ago, so yeah, I don't want to see those two going in the ring together. I don't particularly want to see Sting versus Undertaker. I just want to see the build to it. So Sting's good. Sting's good for some promos and some cool videos, but as far as wrestling-wise, there's no fucking interest from me.
Peyton, your thoughts on both of those issues? Dolph Ziggler's push and the Sting debut?
I wouldn't expect the Dolph Ziggler push to last longer than a few weeks. And worst surprise ever, because we already knew Sting was with the company like 6 months ago. So this was one of the most poor presentations of getting this guy out there. The music was fucking god-awful. The whole presentation of coming out there, the video was terrible. The camera angles were bad. His hair looked like shit. His makeup was terrible. It's like they didn't even care.
So was it really shitty or something?
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with the idea about the lighting and the music. That was a real downside, and they didn't capitalize as much as they should have. I still kind of think, even though the idea of Sting coming out was a cool idea in my mind, I think they missed the opportunity to have Orton do it. St. Louis, he comes out, gives Rollins an RKO, gets a big pop for it, brings that feud back into prominence.
Burns Ferguson down.
He's good from one to the other. It's like he runs it from the crowd, gives him an RKO, then he just like picks up a bat and just is like, I'm gonna go smash some windows.
Yeah.
No, I bet
Exactly.
someone will make an RKO video of that girl on Cena getting hit by that fucking rock.
How do you do that as an RKO? With like Orton RKOing the brick into her head.
I don't know.
You can't really see the thing fly into the shot, can you?
Yeah, you can. It's not the great. It's not like it's there, but you can see it.
The post-Ferguson show.
Well, Drew, what do you think about the Ziggler and Sting stuff?
I've always, as part of me, has always liked Ziggler since I started wrestling, watching it again. Like, at first I was like, wait, who is that guy? Is that Nikki? Oh, his name's Dolph Ziggler. So I had that connection. So I've always thought that he would be mid-card for life, which, I thought it could still be true, but hey, if they're going to push him, then, push this guy to the moon, because I think he's a great talent. The only issue I have with it right now is that he's with John Cena as buddy, and the last two guys who were buddy with Cena, were fucking buried soon after. So I don't know if that will be the best thing ever for Ziggler, but hopefully they can keep this up. I don't know if he'll be on the level of like Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns per se, but I think that he could definitely maybe win a heavyweight title down the road. Now, when it comes to the Sting thing, I actually liked it. The music, I actually think is really good for the most part. I think you could put that on someone else, and you could have used his original one. But I did like the music, and I think that they could definitely use it for Sting, and they could also maybe use it for someone debuting sometime down the road for NXT if they chose to go that route. I've never really got to see Sting wrestle. I was too young for it. So anything, and I might get a shitty version of Sting, but I think it's worth the spectacle if he were to wrestle now. If it's with Triple H, fine. If it's with Undertaker, hey, that's even better because that's what they were talking about a few years ago. So I'm fine with it. I still think the Scorpion Death Drop is like one of the worst finishers ever, but I still think I'm looking forward to the matches if he does have them in the near future. The only thing I don't like about the Sting thing is that he does the interviews in the match, and usually when someone does that, he's one of the first people to pop up the next night on Raw and explain his actions. At least he didn't even fucking show up, which pissed me off because that was like the only opportunity I'll ever get to meet Sting in WWE in the ring. So I'm pissed off about that, but everything else I liked.
Sting in the ring. He can replace King of the Ring.
He's the Stinger, the Stinger.
King of the Sting in the ring.
Sting. Yeah, he has really Sting in the ring motto about him.
All right, guys. Well, tell us what you thought about this kind of stuff. Leave those comments below. Are you a fan of the Sting situation? Do you like his music? Do you think that the Triple H feud is going to be a good alternative to The Undertaker? How long is Dolph Ziggler's push going to last? Who's he going to feud with when it comes to WrestleMania time? Is he even potential winner for the Royal Rumble? You never really know. I'm kind of thinking that he won't, but I could see him being one of the Final Four at the very least. So fill up those comment sections, and we are going to run into the Fantasy League section of this episode in the next segment, so stay tuned.